Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be telling you that how to make a peer-to-peer video chat application as well as text chat application inside pure JavaScript. We will be using WebRTC and simple peer library. So let me just show you a short demo of this application of what we will be building. So this is I'm running on the local server. You can see that localhost 5500 slash hash symbol and then init. So whenever you are initiating a video chatting application, you need to provide this address. One person should be the initiator inside peer-to-peer. So let me open the new tab here, localhost 5500. So this will be the second peer. So at one time only two people can chat with one another, video chat. So here first of all, if I reload the application. So basically if I reload it, automatically you will see it will provide me my ID here. This is the initiator ID. So basically I will just copy this ID and then I will go to the second tab, which is the target peer. So this is the second peer. Here we need to paste this other ID. That's it. Here we need to paste the other ID and click on the connect option, and now it will give this peer's ID. So here we need to copy this ID and paste it inside this box like this, and then click on the connect option. So what you will see my face here. If I just enlarge here, this is my face. You can see that in two of the windows, because my webcam is showing in both the windows. You can just chat with any person in the planet globe. I am just chatting with myself, so that is why you are seeing my face on two cameras. So this is a video chatting application, as well as you can enter message also, a text message. Let's suppose I want to send a message to my peer, so I can just click on this option, hi, hello, and if I click the send button, you will see this message will be sent instantly, hi, hello. Now if I send this from this tab, hi, hello, click on send, you will see this message is sent. So I can send as many messages. You can see that send, 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 and send, send, send. So instantly we have built the video chatting application as well as text chat application. So let me just show you how to build this. All the source code of this tutorial is given in the video description. You can go to my blog. I have written a complete blog post on this, which is built P2P, peer-to-peer video and text chat in JavaScript using simple peer and WebRTC. So you can go to this and copy paste all the code here. Just two files of code is there, not much code. And in order to build this, first of all you need to go to your editor, and I will start from scratch. Let me just close all these files. Let me just also close this. So let me also close this. So the first thing that you need to have inside your tutorial is Browserify. Browserify, as I already told you in my last tutorials, Browserify is the module bundler specifically for JavaScript applications if you want to use Node.js libraries. So it lets you require modules in the browser by bundling all of your dependencies into a single file. So you need to install globally this dependency Browserify, copy this command and execute on the command line. I have already done that. And now what we want to do is that we need to go to the projects directory, and here we will make a new folder, and we can call this as WebRTC chat, and we can enter onto this folder, and then we can open command line. And the first thing that we need to do is that we need to initialize a empty package.json file, which is npm init-y. So this will create the empty package.json file with the default options. So you can see that package.json file has been created. And now let me just show you the dependencies that we will be using. So if you go to npmjs.com, Node Package Manager official website, the first package we will use is simple peer. This is the logic that we will be using. A very simple peer library, which is a Node.js wrapper around WebRTC. So if you want to use WebRTC in Node.js, you can use this dependency simple peer. So it has got weekly downloads of 23,000. So what we can do is that we can say npmi simple dash peer. So enter it and it will install this dependency inside your package.json. The second dependency that we will use is to get our webcam, which is get user media. So this is again a Node.js dependency This is the first dependency, get user media. So in the last tutorial I have shown you the full example of this. So if you haven't watched the last tutorial, you can go to the video description. So basically this dependency gets the user web camera. So it has got 1500 downloads. So I can just type npm I get user media, enter it, and it will install this dependency inside your package.json file. So just wait, it is installing it. And apart from that, we don't need any sort of dependency. So you can open this inside your Visual Studio Code text editor, and for after this you will find your root directory being populated by a single file, which is package.json, and also this node modules. So if you go to the package.json, you will find inside your dependency section these two dependencies, get user media and simple peer. And now we need to add a script here, which is a start script. So basically, let me just show you what I will create. So first of all, just create a simple index.html file, and here let me just close all these windows. So you need to just create a simple template. So we can just get a simple template and change the title. This is the title, so I can just change P2P, video chat, and text chat. So inside this we will have a very simple HTML. We will get a label here. First is a label for our ID. So this label will hold our ID, and we will have a break tag. Then we will have a simple text area element. We will give it a ID so that we can target in JavaScript. This is your ID, and we don't want to give any sort of rows and columns. That's it. And then we will have another break tag, and then we will have a label for the other ID. So we will just give it a label other ID, and then we will have a break tag. Then we will be having text area. Again we will provide a ID to it, this time of other ID, and then we will have a break tag. After having this, so if I just launch this with open with live server, this is just an extension of Visual Studio Code. You will see this is the two labels that we have provided, and this is a text area, your ID and other ID. So let me just also copy this line here, just be so you can see a little more, paste it. So you will see it will auto reload. You can see this will hold my ID and this will hold the other peer's ID. So after this, guys, we want a simple button. So I have provided a break tag after this text area. So we will have a button. Simply I will be giving ID to it of connect, and the label will be simply connect. So if we connect it, our chats will be on. After this we will have a break tag, and then we will again have a label, this time for entering a simple message to our peer for text chatting application. After this we will again have a text area element. This time we will give it an ID of your message. So what message that you will type here, we will target it by this ID. So that's it. Now we will have a button. We will give it an ID of send, and then we will have a label of send simply. And here inside this pre tag we will populate all sort of messages. So we will give it an ID of messages, and currently this will be empty. That's it. So this is all the HTML that is necessary. If I reload this, you will see your ID, other ID, this is a connect button, and this is the enter message. You can see that. Let me just have a break tag here, and after this also. So now you will see this is all done. The HTML is complete. Now we just need to include our bundle.js file. This will be auto generated by browserify. So make a script tag, and inside this you will type any name of your choice, but I will give bundle.js. So a slight modification that you need to do is that inside your package.json file you need to add a start script, and the command of browserify is very simple. We will type here browserify, we will type the input file name which needs to be converted, which is index.js, and then we will type -o for output, and then we will type the output file name which is bundle.js. So here inside this we will create our input file name which is index.js. So inside this we will write all the business logic of the application. Let's suppose I give a alert statement here, and then if I want to compile it, I will just have to type this command which is npm start. So on the left hand side you will see it will run this command instantly, and it will generate this bundle.js file. You will see it is auto generated. So every time we make a change, this file will be auto generated by this browser file library, and if you open this file, garbage code will be there. This is our alert statement. So if I reload the page, you will see our alert statement being populated. So now we don't want the alert statement. Instead, we want to have our WebRTC chatting application. So for that, we need to first of all get the reference to our webcam. So we will first of all include our node library, which is get user media. And inside this, guys, there is a function get user media. We have successfully invoked this. So this takes some options here. First option is the video option. This needs to be true so that you can just have your video inside your web camera. The second option it takes is the audio. If you want to include audio, you can just type here true, but I will not include the audio. So audio is false. So put a comma. After this, it takes a callback function. If all the things are correct, then it will return your web camera stream that you can stream in your video tag. So first of all, we will check for any sort of error. If error is there, then we can console log the error. If no error is there, then we can create a video element. So we can, in the last tutorial I have discussed it. So we can create element. We will create a dynamic element, and inside this we will pass our video element, and then video, there is a source object property here which we will set it to stream. That's it, and then we will play the video automatically. That's it. So now we have made some changes. We again need to execute this command npm start. So again it will generate that bundle.js, and now what you will see, if you reload the application, it will ask for the permission. I have already granted the permission, so I will not see this message coming up. Oh, sorry, one thing I missed, guys. So we need to append this video tag inside our body. So document.body.append child. This was the thing. And we need to pass our video tag. That's it. So you also need to add this video tag inside your body. So just make this change, and once again, if you run the application, you will find, if I now run this on the, you can see this is my web camera being listed here. So if I open any sort of window, let's suppose I open another window, I will still see my web camera listed out. You can see that. And now what we want is that we need a chatting application. So I will just copy this code here, and I will make a separate function, show webcam, and I will write this function show webcam. I will paste this code here like this. That's it. And I will also pass the stream as an argument. So whenever I need to use this method, I can use it. So let me just format the document. So this time I don't want to call it, but first of all we need to check. After we get the reference, we need to also import our simple peer library to hook up the video chatting application. So we will first of all require it. We can call this as peer, and we need to require it simple peer. And after we get the reference of the video camera, we can initiate the peer. We can create a peer. We can call this as capital P, And what we can do is that we can create a peer object by instantiating a new instance of this peer object. So in this instance, it takes some options, guys, a set of curly brackets. The first option is the initiator. If you type here initiator, it takes it. So basically initiator is the one who is instantiating a video chatting or chatting application or text chat application. So here we need to provide this option. So you need to type this code location.hash and then triple equal to, and then you can give any value of your choice. After this hash symbol, I will give init. So basically whoever is starting the video chatting application must have this underscore init inside its browser address. After this, we will have this trickle parameter. We need to set it to false. And then the third parameter, we need to pass our stream that we are getting here. That's it. So this will instantiate a new peer object. So after this, we have some events that we need to listen on. So whenever we get some signal, this event will fire, which is peer on signal, and it will contain some data. And we can just console log data. After console logging it, we can target our document.getElement by id. So we can target our your id. So we can change the value dot value, and then we can use json.stringify. This is a method which is available in JavaScript in order to convert JSON into string. So we can convert any sort of JSON into string by using this json.stringify, and we will pass this data. So it will populate your ID automatically. So if I make this change and now if I run the application, you will see as I load the application, you need to be having this underscore init inside your browser address. So it is just building out the application. So just wait. So it will take some time. So now if I go to the address, so whoever is the initiator must have this address underscore init. So if you go to this, if I again copy this, so you will see automatically this ID will be populated inside your ID field. So this is all because of this peer on signal event. If I open the console, you will see inside the console we get an object. You can see that inside this object we are getting this SDP. This is kind of a object that we are console logging it inside this text area. So after getting this, guys, the next part is that we also need to get the target peer ID. So for that we need to uh, listen for whenever the connect button has been clicked. So document.getElement by ID. So we have given the connect button the ID of connect. So whenever it is clicked, we need to write this callback function. So it will, sorry, we need to first of all add event listeners, not click. So add event listener. So we need to write this click. So whenever the button is clicked of connect, we need to first of all console log a message that button connect was clicked, just for debugging. And after that we can get the other person ID and store it inside this variable by json.parse. This is again a method, document.getElement by ID. And here we need to provide the ID that we have given to the other ID field dot value. So basically this will get the value that the other person has entered, and it will convert that ID to JSON. And now what we want is that we need to use this method which is there on peer object, which is peer dot signal. This is a method, and we need to pass this ID, other ID. That's it. So once the other person has entered its ID, it will call that function peer.signal, and once again this event will fire, and this code will execute. and it will populate the other person ID. So it's a little bit confusing, but if you write the code, you will get the things. And now what we want is that now we want to, at this moment of time, if I once again build this application npm start, so I just want to show you step-by-step process of how this application works under the hood. So it is not building the application, and once again if I reload the application, you will see it will populate my ID. And now what we want is that if I go to this, now if I type copy paste the ID inside another peer and paste this ID and click on the connect option, so what you will see, oh sorry, the value is invalid, so we need to re-enter. So let me just copy this value, and once again let me just refresh it and paste this ID, click on connect, and you will see now this connect button, you will see this message has populated, button connect was clicked, and once again it has called this method which is peer dot signal, and it has called this event which is whenever the peer has received a signal, it populated its own ID. You can see that it has taken the object which has generated it, and it has converted that object to string, and it has populated that ID inside this own field which is your ID. Now the thing is remaining, we need to copy this ID, and once again we need to paste this ID inside our other ID like this and click on the connect option, and now you will see button connect was clicked once again. So if I send a message here, you will see it will not work because we haven't uh, just listen for that send button. We have a send button here inside our HTML. We haven't written the code for that, but we are connected. So in the next step, we will write this code which is document.get element by ID and the ID which is sent. So when that button is clicked, we again want to listen for this add event listener for the click event. So when this button is clicked, this callback function will execute, and what we want is that we first of all need to console log that send button was clicked. After that, we need to get the message that the user has typed. So we will create a variable which is your message, and we can get the message simply by targeting document element by ID, and we have given the ID your message field, so it will get the value that your user has typed. And then what we want is that we need to send this. So there is a method on the peer object which is peer.send. So it will take the message and it will send it to the other peer. That's it. So now the text chat is complete. So if I show you, if I run this application npm start, so you will see once again we need to repeat the process that we have illustrated in the last step. So it is just building out the application. We need to first of all go to the address of the initiator. We need to type here hash symbol and init. So this is very much important. So what is the error? So you will see it will populate my ID, which is control C. Let me just open another window, localhost 5500, but this time we will don't have the underscore in it here. And inside this, let me just zoom out. We need to copy paste the ID here, other ID, and click on connect. You will see it will populate your ID, and now you need to copy paste this ID inside other ID and click on connect. You will see button click connect was clicked. So I can enter any sort of message. Now we are connected. Click on send, and inside this no message will be populated because we haven't written the code. Whenever the data has come, We have just sent the message, but we haven't listened for the event whenever the message is coming from the other peer. So for that, we have an event inside the peer object, which is peer.on. So when the data is sent, we will listen on this event. So this function will hold the data which is coming. And first of all, we can just console log the data. Data will be there in the form of message or video call. So now we need to populate all these messages, which is document.getElement by ID. So we have given the ID of messages inside our pre-tag, and we need to just change the text content property to the messages, all these messages. So we can just write here plus is equal to, we need to append this, so plus is equal to data. And also we need to put a new line, so new line character. So just put a slash sign here and M symbol, that's it. So this will put a new line. So every message will have its own line. So once again, if I run this application, npm start, now you will see your messages will populate. So you will see, if I once again go to the initiator address, which is hash sign init, so you will see, let me again refresh it. It will populate your ID. You need to go to the other peers here, localhost, let me just go to 5500, and here you need to paste your ID inside other ID option, click on connect. So basically this will get the target peer ID, and now you need to go to your ID and paste it here and click on connect. So now you are connected, you can send messages here. So if I click send, you will see this message will populate. This is a message here, you can see that we have, if I send from this peer, and if I open the previous peer, you will see this message will appear. So all the messages which are sent by the other peer will populate, not all the messages. So if I send here hello, this is the target peer. If I send here, you will see this is the target peer. And let me type here, this is the, it is not limited to text messages, you can even send images also and videos, but in this tutorial it will be a very basic text application. In the later half of the tutorial I will show you that how to do more advanced stuff, so you can see that. And lastly guys, we will move to the video chat here. So video chatting is very easy. So there is a object which is peer on stream. So basically this is again an event. So whenever you get any sort of stream, once again we will have this function holding the stream here. And now what we want, we need to call this show webcam method and pass the stream, that's it. We can even console log the stream as well. So console log stream. So the concept is very simple. There is an event inside the peer object which is stream. So whenever the target peer sends you a stream web camera, it will automatically execute this function and you can show your webcam. That's it. Passing the target stream. That's it. So what you will see, if I go to the target peer address, so we need to again build the application. So npm start. So once again we need to build this. So it will take some time, so just wait. So it has successfully built it. Now let me just go to my target peer. So this is my peer address. So you will see it will populate the address. Copy this. Go to the target peer and here you need to paste your ID. Click on connect. This will get the target peer ID and here you need to go to your tab, paste it here, click on connect and you will see your webcam is populated. If you open the target peer, this is your webcam. So you cannot notice because the same person is speaking in both the tabs, but if you try with your friend, if you try with someone else, you will see the difference what I am talking about. So if I just show you the difference here, let me just turn on the audio option. Let's suppose I audio to true, so you will see the difference. And let me also turn on the desktop audio, and now let me just run the application once again, npm start. So now if I run the application, let me close all the tabs here. If I go to the initiator, so this is your ID. We need to open another tab, 5500. So here you need to paste your ID, click on connect. So this will give your ID here. So Control C, and here you need to paste this ID, click on connect, and now you